He'll be in right. And Brett Kinnaman, the sophomore left fielder, is going to lead it off for NC State.
Sunny, it is beautiful, and of course we're talking about baseball here in Tempe Diablo Stadium. Angels against the local Arizona Diamondbacks. Always a nice draw, nice crowd here in hand. And for the D-backs, first-year manager Torey Lovullo, Southern California product, outstanding person, gets the opportunity. A.J. Pollock is leading off, and it's good to see him on the lineup again. All-star caliber player. Pollock is in center field. David Peralta is batting second. He is in right field. All-America Paul Goldschmidt, one of the best players in the game, is batting third at first base. Jake Lamb came into his own last year, batting fourth at third base. Brandon Drury batting fifth at second base. Daniel Descalzo, new addition as a free agent, is in left field batting sixth. Chris Iannetta, former Angel, is a catcher batting seventh. Nick Ahmed is a shortstop. He's batting eighth. And for the D-backs, also a new face for them in the organization, Taijuan Walker, whom the Angels saw for so many years with the Seattle Mariners. Walker is batting ninth, and he is on the mound. For Mike Scioscia's Angels, fresh off of a no-hitter, Yunel Escobar is leading off. Escobar is at third base, batting second. Cole Calhoun. Calhoun is in right field. Batting third is Mike Trout, American League MVP. Mike Trout in center. Albert Pujols, designated hitter, batting fourth. Cameron Maybin makes a start in left field, batting fifth. C.J. Cron, the man with the glove last night. What a game for him with that glove coming into the game halfway through it. Saved that no-hitter among many. He is at first base batting sixth. Anderson Simmons Simba at shortstop batting seventh. Danny Espinosa is batting eighth at second base. And Carlos Perez is catching for the Angels, batting ninth in. Skaggs is ready. Perez is ready. Home plate umpire Mark Kashopa is ready, and so is Roger Lodge.
Could not be more ready, Jose. Right here from Tempe Diablo Stadium, and A.J. Pollock is going to step in and lead things off for the Diamondbacks. First pitch of the ball game upstairs, 1-0 to Pollock. Hey, who's in? Who's out? Brought to you by In-N-Out Burgers. That's what a hamburger's all about, as we welcome in all of our friends at Fox Sports West. Jose, this should be a good game, and what are we looking for out of Tyler Skaggs on this Saturday?
Hopefully we'll see him go out there and execute pitches, get ahead of hitters, and stay on the mound as long as he can, meaning that with the stamina issues he's had, the shoulder weakness, it's time now to go out there and compete and perform.
2-0 to Pollock right down the middle. It's 2-1. Hey, game time and party time or anytime. Send in Mandalena Cabernet or Chardonnay and you won't strike out. Found at Angel Stadium in your favorite retailer. 1:09 game time, 80 degrees on this sunny afternoon. And Pollock lifts one to right field, and Cole Calhoun will put that away for out number 1. So 1 down for Arizona as David Peralta steps in.
Mike Scioscia did not want to give a hard count on pitches that are supposed to be included today for Tyler Skaggs, so he did not want to say it's going to be 75, it's going to be 80. Mainly, let's see how efficient he is, and if we think after 50 or 60 he has done enough, then that'll be it. But certainly it'd be nice to see him out there on that mound standing up in that 5th inning somehow.
And Skaggs' first pitch to Peralta, lefty against lefty, is inside. It's 1-0. David Peralta from Valencia, Venezuela. Started out as a pitcher in the Cardinals organization, the 1-0. That's inside 2-0 to David Peralta.
Yeah, Peralta did not have the easiest of paths, Roger, to the big leagues. His father was a huge inspiration. In fact, when he was a pitcher and convincing him to become a position player, and look where he is now, trying to bounce back in the big leagues as an outfielder.
Yeah, hit his first home run Thursday for these Diamondbacks against the Milwaukee Brewers. He fouls that back, and it's 2-1 to David Peralta.
Had some issues last year, only played in 48 games. Right wrist inflammation was a big issue, and of course his back. But he's a career .292 hitter.
He knows what he's doing in the batter's box. He fouls that back, and the count even at 2-2. You mentioned his road back to the big leagues. How about David Peralta playing independent baseball for teams like the Rio Grande Valley White Wings, the Wichita Wingnuts, and the old Amarillo Sox?
If you love the game, you're going to stay in the game.
That's right. You got to love some of those names. That's hit down to second. The shift is on, and Simmons will throw out Peralta for out number 2.
There's no secret. We're seeing more and more of these specialized shifts by the Angels here in the last week or so, going on counts, of course, going on hitters mainly, and also who is on the mound. But there's been a lot of movement in between pitches sometimes. As these games have progressed, as guys gain more innings, and of course, now you see the combination of your infield playing together, and it should be the opening night infield for the Angels.
Paul Goldschmidt steps in, takes the first pitch inside. 1-0 to Goldschmidt. How good has this guy been for the Diamondbacks? A 4-time All-Star. Last season, 297, 24 homers, and 95 driven in. That's way outside. And it's 2-0 to Goldschmidt.
I mean, to me, there's no doubt this guy is one of the best players in the game that just does not get the recognition. I don't think Goldie is up to a lot of awards or recognition, but certainly he deserves more national attention. This guy is a complete player.
2-0s on the outside corner. It's 2-1. Hey, top of the first inning brought to you by Rennick Subaru. For Subaru and the Subaru A Lot to Love event, think Rennick first. R-E-N-I-C-K Subaru.com. 2-1 to Goldschmidt. Drilled into the Diamondbacks dugout. That'll even things up at 2-2. How about this, Jose? Paul Goldschmidt, one of only 3 first basemen in Major League history to have multiple seasons of 20 homers and 20 steals in the same season.
Believe it.
It's hit third down the third baseline foul.
He's one of those guys that, you know, he'll go out and meet with former players, legend players in the offseason, and he'll take a notepad and have dinner and have a cup of coffee and have a notepad. All because he is in the mold of a guy that says, I will never stop learning and trying to get better.
2-2, swung on and missed, and that will end the first inning. Goldschmidt goes down swinging a perfect 1-2. Hey, welcome back. Bottom of the first inning, Yunel Escobar will lead off for your Halos. Takes the first pitch upstairs. It's 1-0 from Taijuan Walker, getting the start today for the Arizona Diamondbacks. 1-0. Hit down the right field line. That's fading, and it will go foul. It'll be 1-1 to Yunel Escobar. Hey, this spring, find your escape route off-road with great deals on a new Jeep. Head into your local Jeep dealer for the Jeep Spring Clearance event going on now. One and one to Yunel Escobar. Just missed. 2-1 to Escobar, who hit .304 for this Angel Ball Club last year with 5 home runs and 39 runs batted in. 2-1. It's going to find its way into the seats. 2-2 to Escobar.
Well, Yunel has only played in 12 games here in the spring, and he was telling me before the game, yeah, he can feel it at times, Roger, where timing might be a little off. Sometimes he's swinging way too hard, but he goes, well, I'm going to kind of tone it down, maybe even ask for some minor league at-bats next week.
Just off the corner. And the count will go full to Escobar, who's not going to walk much up there. We all know that. Last 3 seasons, only 3 steals. He's not going to steal a lot of bases, and he's not going to walk a whole lot, Jose. Pitches down, hit down to third. And they'll throw across to throw out Escobar. 1 down in the Angel first, and that'll bring up Cole Calhoun.
Nicely done by the youngster. Jake Lamb to third base. No rush whatsoever going to his left. See how smoothly he accommodated his feet to make it nice and easy throw in transition from glove to hand, squared off the shoulders. Easy play.
I can't roll the R's, but I love the nickname of Cole Calhoun, so let me give it a shot, Jose. El Rojo steps in.
Flying Rojo.
For our Halos.
Well done. Rojo's fun, man.
He
Local
is.
kid who's got that smile. Uniform gets dirty. Gritty player.
First pitch from Walker's on the outside corner, 0-1. Cole Calhoun, 271 last year for our Halos. 35 doubles, 18 homers, 75 RBIs. 0-1 way outside, 1-1.
Now keep an eye on Cole Calhoun and how he's holding that bat a little more straight up, away from his body. At times we'll see him put it on his shoulder, but there's something he wants to work with, maybe help him stay inside more.
Tries to bunt his way on there. Tried to lay it up the third baseline. And it's 1-2 to Cole Calhoun. Taijuan Walker, the former Seattle Mariner, on the hill today for the Diamondbacks. 8-11 last year with an ERA of 4.22 in 25 starts. He's 22-22 at the big league level. That's upstairs. 2-2 to Cole Calhoun.
He does have a firm fastball. He'll pitch upstairs. That's how he allowed 27 home runs last year in 134 in the third innings. He's always had the talent. It's more polish it off and put it all together now for him. There's no doubt, Ron. You see, look at this body, look at the size, you see velocity, you see pretty much everything you're looking for as a scout's dream. And now the work becomes harder when you get to the big leagues. It's all above the shoulders.
3-2 to Calhoun. That's lined in the right field, and that's going to get down for a base hit for Cole Calhoun. A 1-out single for Cole Calhoun. 1 on, 1 out. And here comes the best player in baseball, number 27, Mike Trout. Can I say that? Best player in baseball?
There's no one better. I don't see anybody around that's better than Mike Trout. There's no doubt. Even if we sound a little biased because he's an Angel, there's no better player in the game.
I got to tell you, Jose, we've got a sellout here at Tempe Diablo today. But, you know, home game for the, not a home game, but, you know, the Diamondbacks playing here in Arizona. It's amazing how what big business spring training baseball has become.
It's great. And this is the oldest facility in the Cactus League, and it still looks beautiful, packed, the berm, and everything that goes along with I-10 behind it. An iconic place here. It's been here for a long time. Still looks awesome.
0-1 to Mike Trout. Cole Calhoun aboard on his 1-out single. Upstairs, 1-1.
Well, we talk about combinations on when to run and when not to run, but if you want to talk about perfect time to run is now. Cole Calhoun might be a guy, maybe steals you 12, 15 bases. Taijuan Walker gave up 16 stolen bases last year, 1 caught stealing. And Chris Iannetta is somebody the Angels know very well behind the plate. And his career caught stealing percentage is around 21%. So why not try it now?
Angels stealing a lot of bases here in the Cactus League in 2017. That's upstairs, 2-1 to Mike Trout. Albert Pujols on deck.
And so many guys, Roger, have brought in the mentality and even pressing the issue with the coaches and Mike Scioscia, including Calhoun, Espinosa, Maben, of course, Simmons, Revere, Trout. Let's run. Let's make some things happen. Don't stop in spring training.
2-1 to Trout. Lifted into left field. And that's going to be caught for the second out of the inning. So Trout flies out to left field. 2 down, Cole Calhoun at first, and Albert Pujols will step in.
Daniel Descalzo, of course, well known by Albert Pujols. Mostly an infielder. Back with the Cardinals days, and for somebody like Descalzo, who I just, in fact, saw play very well for Team Italy in the World Baseball Classic. Did not look too sure coming in on that ball in left field. But ball was caught.
I got to tell you, Jose, that World Baseball Classic, I became such a fan of that. I was hanging on every pitch. What a tournament for Team USA. That was something else.
That was needed by the tournament for Team USA to do well. And certainly some people have a different perspective, different view on what that tournament represents for everybody around the world, pretty much, and what it has become. Over 1 million fans attended games this season during the tournament.
0-1 to Albert is hit deep to left field. And that ball is going to get out of here. Albert Pujols goes yard, and the Angels lead it 2-0. That ball was crushed, Jose.
Taijuan Walker will pitch upstairs, and of course, when you pitch upstairs against a thick middle of the lineup in Calhoun, Trout, Pujols, you're going to pay a price. Of course, Pujols goes out there and hammers with that top hand dominance and lets it fly quite rapidly. You know the legs are under him, Roger, when you see Albert making so many great passes at the baseball as he has all throughout the spring.
Second home run of the spring for Albert Pujols. And the Angels are on top 2-0 as Cameron Maben steps in. That ball was hit real hard and got out of here in a hurry.
I'll tell you, he's real happy to see that. Maybe not as much, but Tony La Russa, who managed Albert and the Yadi Molinas of the world for so many years, is part of the organization with the D-backs, and he's sitting to our left. And I think Tony had to kind of hold back a little bit. He says still the toughest and mentally strong player he's ever managed. The most professional player is Albert Pujols.
Cam Maben lined in the center field for a base hit. And boy, does he need that, because Cameron Maben coming into this game, Jose, hitting just 067 here in the spring.
Yeah, Cam's had a tough one, there's no doubt, but we're also seeing a lot of balls where he has hit hard right at people. Did not look good yesterday. You know, a lot of swings and misses on certain counts and locations and pitches, but good to see him get off to a good start here. I mean, he needs to build a confidence, you know, moving forward here.
Chris Iannetta went out to the mound to talk to Taijuan Walker. Shortstop Nick Ahmed came in as well. And now we're set to go as C.J. Cron steps in. But getting back to Maben, he was an impact guy in that Tiger lineup last year when he was in there, Jose. In fact, the Tigers were 51-38 when he was in their lineup, and 34-9 when Cameron Maben scored a run.
He comes highly recommended by many people as a guy that will come and help you win ball games. He'll change the culture of the clubhouse, keep guys united. Buddy Black, who managed him in San Diego, said that, of course. Miguel Cabrera told me the same thing just a few weeks ago.
Pitch to Cron, taken for a strike. 2-1.
You know, Miguel Cabrera went as far as telling me, Roger, he doesn't drive in 100 runs last year if Maben's not in that lineup.
You look at the guys who batted in front of Albert Pujols last year. I guess the same could be said for those guys that were getting on base for Albert for his 119 driven in last year. Cron hits one down the third. Look at Descalso. He's going to throw across, and the ball gets away from Goldschmidt at first base. Maben's going to get to third, and they'll hold him there as the ball goes out of play. Cron's going to end up at second base. The Angels have runners at second and third here with 2 outs. Already up 2-0, and Andrelton Simmons strolls to the plate.
This will be a hit and an error. So hit and an error. Lamb sees this ball come back on him, and just that was enough to not allow him to set his feet and throw on the run. On a play that, of course, does not have a whole lot of speed, velocity coming off the bat. He's trying to look at do or die, and it's unfortunate, but because as reliable as Goldie is, usually we see Goldsmith pick that one off the dirt.
That'll go as an E5 on Jake Lamb. Second and third, 2 outs, and Simmons in the box.
Hit error.
Hit and an error.
Oh, here's something the Angels have done in regular season against Taijuan Walker, those long innings. Here comes pitch number 25.
Take it for a strike. And it's 0-2 to Simmons. And I think the Angels, with the way Andrelton Simmons plays shortstop with the leather, Jose, would take another 281 out of Andrelton Simmons in a heartbeat.
He surprised a lot of people on the way he came back and swung the bat after the issue with a torn ligament on his left thumb. That did not affect his hitting at all. It actually helped it.
Just to Simmons, that's going to get down in right field for a base hit. Maben scores. C.J. Cron jogs home, and the Angels are up 4-0. Andrelton Simmons with a 2 RBI single.
Well, again, no surprise to many people, including Anderton himself, who says, hey, you know what? I became more selective on pitches that I know I could handle better, including going the other way with men on base, runs in scoring position. Because Simmons drove in 44 runs last year, but with men in scoring positions, he was a very respectable above league average, 283. And with men on base, he was a 290 hitter. So you go see a guy that is going to do so much for you at shortstop, Roger, with a glove, but also, boy, what an asset to have him swing the bat so well, and hopefully that'll continue here in 2017.
Daniel Espinosa will step in.
So everybody follows the machine. I'll tell you what, man. It is important for the Angels to get off to a good start in April. It's going to take more than just health and starting pitching. It's going to take offense. It's no doubt.
Espinosa 209 last year for the Nationals with 24 home runs and 72 RBIs. He bunts up along third. And the throw is, dug out by Goldschmidt at first base. Then that's another nice play there by Jake Lamb. That was terrific. How about that? The Angels come up with 4 runs, 5 hits in the first. They lead it 4-0 right here. And as you're listening to Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West.
Catch back up
Hey, welcome back. Top of the second inning. Angels lead it 4-0. Long live the hardworking, the proud, the tenacious, and long live the trucks that are as dependable as the people that drive them. Right now, get a great deal during Ram Truck Month. Jake Lamb, the batter, leading off the second for the Diamondbacks. Tyler Skaggs beginning inning number 2.
That was a major league plus play by Jake Lamb at third base on the shift on a push bunt, and he still threw across his body going towards the dugout and got a runner like Espinoza. That is tip my hat. My goodness.
No doubt a big league play there by Lamb. 1-1 to him here. Skaggs is ready. Here comes the 1-1. Swings, doesn't get it. 1-2.
That'd be a bad idea here for Tyler Skaggs to get into more of a regular season mentality and go out there and stay in the attack. And I'm talking about the mentality of protecting a lead. Worst thing you can do right now is just allow the opponent to get a glimpse of you not wanting to be around the zone and opening the door. So, you know what? The mindset, Roger, sometimes you got to bring in a little bit early and run with it. Get in that mold now.
2-2 to Lamb. Here comes Skaggs. Slow breaking ball. Look at Simmons with the shift, throwing across to C.J. Cron for out number 1. We talked to Billy Epler in our open for Fox. He's looking for Tyler Skaggs. What did he say? Get up 5 or 6 times today?
Hopefully get him out there at least 5 times. Mike Scioscia did not want to give a hard count on pitches, but hopefully around somewhere in the 70s would be great. And to get him up 5 times, of course, he's going to have to be quite economical. He's at 20 pitches right now. And he made a total of 15 the first inning, 10 strikes.
Skaggs' first pitch to Brandon Drury. Right down the middle for 0-1. Drury, 282 last year, 16 home runs for the Diamondbacks. Fouls that off at the plate. It's quickly 0-2. Drury, 24-year-old, played 62 games as a Diamondbacks left fielder last year. Started 27 games in right field, made 16 appearances at second base as well, and 29 in third. So his versatility. Hits a ground ball down the shortstop. Simmons will throw across in time to get Drury, and there's quickly 2 down here in the Diamondback second.
Come on, Roger, it's not that easy. Simba. You know, many of us look bad trying to make a play like that sometimes, making it look more difficult than it is. He is so casual. Even the play before that, he's on the shift, picks up the baseball in the backhand, and no rush whatsoever. And one thing about Simmons is that he knows well, too, when to kind of amp it up and went to hold back and save that arm for 162 games.
First pitch to Daniel Descalso was inside 1-0. We were out here yesterday, and during warm-ups, in between innings, Simmons was tying his shoes, and he was almost out on the grass. As that pitch is fouled away, it's 1-1 to Descalso, but he was out on the outfield grass. And they're throwing balls to him while he's on his knees, tying his shoes. He looks up. Oh, here comes the ball. And he, from his knees, threw a strike across the diamond.
Easily done.
Absolutely amazing. Here's the 1-1. That's fouled off at the plate. 1-2 to Daniel Descalso. 264 last year for the Rockies. 8 home runs, 38 RBIs. Spent 2010 through 2014 with the Cardinals. He's from Redwood City, California. Went to UC Davis. Skaggs is 1-2. On the out, just missed outside. It's 2-2.
Breaking ball looks pretty good, and he has tried a couple of different tilts. He's got the 12-6 going. That one was more of a mix, like a slurve, but certainly we see a lot of separation today between that fastball and his breaking balls.
2-2. Fouled off. It's remains 2-2 to Descalso, who, by the way, Jose, became the first St. Louis Cardinal to ever play all 4 infield positions in 4 consecutive games. Did that back in 2014.
And here's the thing. If you play for Tony La Russa, he would allow you to do that, and he would ask you to help the team somehow. Albert Pujols had to play some right field and third base and second base, eventually landing at first base, all because of Tony La Russa. Said, get a glove. I don't care if you haven't played there. Go out there and help me out. And you got to have that type of mentality, especially a guy like Descalzo. You know, go back to La Russa and Tony Phillips. Go back to La Russa and Mike Gallego. And all these guys, Roger, they had a career all because of versatility, but also the open-mindedness of somebody that was a leader that trusted in them and gave them the confidence.
Breaking ball outside, so the count going full now to Daniel Descalzo. Angels lead it 4-0 as we play here in the top of the second on a beautiful day for baseball here in Tempe, Arizona, as Cactus League action winds down. Here's the 3-2. C.J. Cron, he's going to toss across to Tyler Skaggs, and that will end the inning. How about another nice, clean inning for Tyler Skaggs? No runs, hits, or errors. We played 1.5 here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. Angels lead at 4-0. You're listening to the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Bottom of the second, Carlos Perez leading off for the Angels, fouls the first pitch away. It's 0-1 to Carlos Perez. Angels lead at 4-0. High breaking, right down the middle. Nice breaking ball from Taijuan Walker there, Jose.
He does have a good one. It's just a matter of getting himself in good counts and not overthrowing it at times and being able to get in good counts where he can repeat it. Just like that.
Pitches away. It's 1-2 to Carlos Perez. 209 for the Angels last season. 5 homers, 31 RBIs. The 1-2 sliced into the Angel dugout. Look out over there.
Yes, watch out. Always dangerous.
That thing got there in a hurry.
There's so many things that the railing can do to save you, but not all the time.
Looks like all is okay in the Angel dugout.
I'm glad there's some smiles.
Yes.
Everything is
it's always a good sign when everyone's smiling. The 1-2 to Carlos Perez. Breaking ball away. Count even 2-2. How about Perez, Jose? We all remember his Halo debut with a walk-off home run in his first big league game. That pitch just misses inside. Count going full to Carlos Perez.
They need his bat. They definitely need his bat. A little presence down the bottom of that order for Carlos.
It's line down to third. Look at Jake Lamb making another play. He'll throw across for the first out of the inning. Hey, this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Los Angeles Angels. So one down, back to the top of the order, Yunel Escobar. Look out, inside for ball one. How about Escobar, the consistency over the years, Jose? 283 at the big league level.
You know, he's an on-base machine. And, you know, for a guy that doesn't walk a whole lot, that tells you how good of a hitter he is.
Jake Lamb's getting a workout. He handles that well and throws across to Goldschmidt for quickly out number 2.
The Jake Lamb show continues here at the vacuum cleaner over at third base. He's done everything. Backhand, bunts, bare hands. Now in one of the toughest hops you'll ever see, the in-between where the ball could eat you up. But if you're aggressive enough and have soft enough hands, you'll throw your glove and just absorb that baby.
We'll bring up Cole Calhoun, who lives in nearby Buckeye, Arizona.
He's got roots all over this place. Born in Buckeye. Lives in the area here near Tempe, Arizona State.
Yeah, how about
high school stud?
How about the teams he played on at his Arizona State? That pitch is hit into the shift. And Peralta will throw out Cole Calhoun, and that will quickly end the bottom of the second for the Angels. No runs, hits, or errors. We've played 2 in Tempe. It's 4-0 Angels as you listen to the Angels on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West.
Hey, Metro PCS.
First pitch to Chris Iannetta downstairs here, leading off the 3rd inning for the Diamondbacks. Angels lead at 4-0. Here on Fox Sports West and the Angel Baseball Radio Network, and kind enough to spend some time with us here in the top of the 3rd. How about the Vice President of Communications for Angels Baseball for, stay with me on this, 38 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Tim Meade joins us in the broadcast booth. How are you, Tim?
Good, Roger. How are you doing today?
Fantastic. Filling in here for Terry Smith, living the dream, calling an Angels game with one of my guys, Jose Mota. This is as good as it gets, Mr. Meade.
Yes, it is, and there's no greater office than out here looking at this ballpark and this view. Full house today. It's great.
2-0 to Chris Iannetta. The 2-0 offering is inside. It's 3-0. And Tim, with the growing popularity of Angels baseball, and a lot of that due to the guy in center field, the 2-time MVP Mike Trout, how crazy does that make your job here in 2017?
You know, Roger, it's since Mike emerged on the scene, I think it just continues to grow each and every year. Here we go.
It's a fly ball, and right on cue, Trout back, and that ball goes off his glove, and Iannetta is going to keep on going. And he's going to have himself, well, we'll see how they score it, but he's on third base, a leadoff. Is it a triple, or is that an error on the best player in baseball in center field? That's going to be a triple.
I'm sure it's going to be a triple, but I think it's also a ball that Mike Trout knows he probably should not have drifted on and caught cleanly. The conditions, we can talk all about Arizona and how tough it is and the wind and all that, but I think Mike knows it's a ball that he should have caught.
So Iannetta at third, leadoff triple as they score it, and Nick Ahmed in the batter's box. So getting back to Trout and the popularity, and how many media requests do you get per week for Mike Trout?
We almost break it down, Roger, into, Eric Kay and Adam Chosko do a tremendous job with him on a daily basis with our local media, but we also have the national media requests. Mike just is in the process right now of doing an E60 segment. Does a Major League Baseball commercial, it seems like every spring. Then obviously the Fox folks come in. A lot of different ESPN entities come in as well, and the national writers, and it's it's ongoing for him. He has a tremendous ability to do everything very graciously, spread it out, which is kind of our responsibility, but make everybody feel like this is the most important interview that he's doing.
0-2 to Nick Ahmed with Iannetta at third base. Angels lead it 4-0. And here comes the 0-2 to Ahmed from Tyler Skaggs. Breaking ball outside. It's 1-2 to Nick Ahmed. And I got to tell you, and I've been around Trout a little bit, I don't think I've ever seen a superstar player as humble as our two-time MVP.
Couldn't agree with you more, Roger. Again, he is able to make everybody feel as though that he's focused on them, and that he genuinely cares about each situation he's in.
And there, Trout dives for that. He's not going to come up with it. And Nick Ahmed is also going to keep on going to third. Simmons to throw. And he's in there with the triple. An RBI triple for Nick Ahmed. And that makes it a 4-1 ball game as Chris Iannetta scores.
Well, a couple of mistakes out over the play by Tyler Skaggs at the bottom of the order. Really, Iannetta just knowing a lot about a guy like Tyler Skaggs, puts the ball on it, and then Ahmed batting eighth pretty much says, well, a lot of two-seam fastballs. First 7 batters. What else should I be looking for here? And just sees a big part of the field. Effort by Trout, perhaps. Yes, we applaud that, but also a situation where I think if he has to do it again, he'd try to keep that ball in front of him.
So 4-1. Taijuan Walker's going to hit here, and he swings and misses the first pitch. It's 0-1 as we continue on with Tim Mead, the Vice President of Communications for Angels Baseball for the past 38 years. You know what, Tim? It almost got to the point last year where I couldn't wait for the newest, latest, and greatest video of Mike Trout making some young kid's day. That was awesome.
Really was, Roger. And the great thing about it is it's all spontaneous. I mean, whether we're at home, whether we're on the road, obviously every day coming, after he stretches, coming down the left field line and finds fans. Here in spring training, he's very gracious with his time. But it's fun for us just to watch him, because and to see that reaction. Major League Baseball last year made a commercial of him simply engaging the fans. Obviously, it was in, Jose, Detroit last year with that one young man.
Right. Yep.
And we have a chance to see that reaction periodically or frequently. Albert did something today similar to Mike with a young girl around the cage and took photos with her, signed autographs, and she started crying. And it was just one of those great moments. And I think for as often as we're around the game, we should never lose sight of how important those moments are.
So it's 2-2 to Taijuan Walker here with Ahmed at third base. No outs, and here comes the pitch. Just missed, the count full.
Tim, you've been around so long in those clubhouses and the influences and the culture, but Mike Trout says without a Torrey Hunter, without an Albert Pujols, he probably would not have the same grasp on it. You've seen it happen in generations. How big is having 2 guys like that as you begin your career?
Well, I think it's important. I think ultimately
hit the Simmons at shortstop. He'll throw across as Taijuan Walker leisurely takes a stroll down the first base line. That'll be the first out of the inning, but getting back.
I think ultimately, in Mike Trout's regard, you just have to go back to, the family. I mean, he is a product of a tremendous family. But in that clubhouse, we had the opportunity earlier this spring to see Torrey Hunter come back and visit his son down at minor league camp and spend some time in one of the morning meetings. And watching Torrey's reaction to being around Mike again in the clubhouse in one of those morning sessions and in a joking manner was outstanding. And it just kind of took you back to Mike's early portion of his career and the lessons that Torrey taught him.
And the respect factor with him is so remarkable with the super mega star status. When Albert Pujols speaks to Mike, it's like his eyes like, Daddy's talking. Let me be quiet now.
Oh, well, absolutely, Jose. And I think that's one of the great things is Mike is open for observations, constructive criticism, whatever, from anybody, particularly an Albert Pujols or a Mike Scioscia, or Dino Ebel was giving us a talk about the other day, telling us about something that Mike had done early on, and Dino pointed it out, and Mike's never done it since. But he picks up very quickly. I love this spring training that he really came out publicly and said, I want to be the best player in baseball. I think the three of us sit up here saying you already are, but he will continue to work to be the best he can possibly be, and he's very open about it.
2-0 to A.J. Pollock. Down low, and that's 3-0 to A.J. Pollock with Nick Ahmed at third base. Angels lead at 4-1 as Tyler Skaggs worked here in the top of the third inning. And I remember Mike Trout telling me, Torrey Hunter telling me when he first came up with Minnesota, how Kirby Puckett showed him the ways. And I imagine at any moment, Mike Trout, he'll just pay that forward and pass that on to a couple of youngsters over in the Angel clubhouse. That's how it works, right?
Roger, I think it's a great point, and I think we all look forward to that time. I don't want to wish time away, but imagine people looking up to Mike Trout, and I think younger players in minor league camp are now, but to see how you conduct yourself, not just how you handle yourself with the media, but the aspects of having fun, having passion, enjoying each and every day. Mike doesn't have to necessarily teach that. He shows that. And it's exciting. I mean, Albert's taught him a lot of the nuances of the game, the professionalism, that aspect. Torrey taught him, I think, a lot of the fun, a lot of the media angles. Mike's well-rounded in all categories.
A.J. Pollock waves at that pitch and misses, and he'll go down on strikes for the second out of the inning. So two down.
Let's just say that was the best sequence we've seen in Tyler Skaggs all throughout the spring in a tight situation. He had to work his way back from a hitter's count and put away a very fine player himself, well-rounded player like an A.J. Pollock. So overall, tip your hat to Skaggs finding a way to get quality pitches later in that count.
So two down to Peralta, lefty-lefty matchup here. First pitch is fouled away. It's 0-1 to David Peralta. So Tim, as the vice president of communications for Angels baseball for the last 38 years, what are you looking forward to more than anything else here when it comes to the Angels in 2017?
I'll tell you, Roger, I think that the chemistry that's been established here in these 6 weeks of spring training has been outstanding. When you bring in some new players, Cameron Maben, Ben Revere, obviously Danny Espinosa, Martin Maldonado behind the plate, you can see that it's really clicked very quickly. Now, it doesn't always, translate into wins, but I think what you've seen in this camp is a very close-knit group. I think they like each other a great deal. I think we have high expectations. Obviously, we're going to go as far as our starting pitching for the most part, but I think we're going to play an awful lot of baseball similar to what Mike Scioscia's brand was in the early 2000s. I think we're going to do a lot of first to third, some base running. But I think our diamond up the middle, when you look at Simmons, Espinosa, Maldonado, and Trout, is as good as any team in baseball, and that's going to strengthen, our pitching staff in many, many ways as well. So, we expect to play game 163, which is the first game of the playoffs.
Tim, here's the deal. Okay, you've been around a long time. You always talk about people, you compliment people, but thank you for being who you are. I mean, this is, you keep everybody on the same tune and positive. You always have that vibe. And I think it's time that we say thank you for all you do, not just with the Angels. Throughout baseball, the respect you command that you've earned. I mean, you're a VP now, but you started from the ground up. And every one of those wings you've earned. And my friend, really, thank you for all you do.
Jose,
for baseball.
I appreciate that. I have had good teachers along the way in this organization and outside this organization. And I think the one thing that we all share.
As Peralta breaks his bat, and Escobar will throw across, and that will end the top of the third for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tim, we thank you so much as you finish up your story.
Ultimately, I think we all share that mutual love of the game and realize how blessed we are to do what we are. So thank you both very much, guys.
Well, thank you for jumping on here in the third. Hey, you're listening to the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Mike Trout leads it off for the Halos here in the bottom of the third inning. Angels lead it 4-1. Fouls the first pitch back, 0-1 to Mike Trout, who last year all he did was lead the major leagues in runs scored, walks, on-base percentage, and he won his second most valuable player award. And of course, Jose, if I had a few minutes, I could make a case he should be sitting on maybe at least 4 MVPs.
There's no doubt. To be 1 or 2 in every one of your full seasons is absolutely remarkable.
Pitch to Trout is a ball. It's 2-1 to the best player in baseball. Let's pause for station identification on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. Two-one pitch to Trout is skied to center field. A.J. Pollock will put it away for the first out of the Angel third.
So the difference there is A.J. Pollock did not drift on this one, as Trout did earlier on that ball hit by Iannetta. And Pollock, of course, who has plenty of experience playing here in Arizona himself, playing the home games downtown. But just 2-3 bursts out first steps and gets behind it. And eventually that Ruin kind of brought that ball back.
First pitch to Albert Pujols is a strike. 0-1 to Albert, who homered back in the Angel first. 0-1 is lined down the left field line, just foul. 0-2 to Albert Pujols. Now 37 years old, turned 37 on January the 16th.
I think you had me on your show right before spring training.
You mean the Sports Lodge on Angels Radio, AM 830, my wildly popular afternoon drive show? Yes.
That show. And you're asking me about Pujols and being ready. And there he is. The machine doing what the machine does.
Swings at that pitch and strikes out for out number 2. If there's one guy I would never doubt, it would be it would be Albert Pujols getting ready to go on opening day. Hey, register your little angel for the 2017 Junior Angels Kid Club for only $18. Member receive 4 ticket vouchers, T-shirt, a coupon for a free large pizza, and more. It's all presented by Papa John's. Visit angels.com/Junior Angels for more information. First pitch to Cameron Maben. Outside, 1-0 to Maven, who, by the way, the pride of North Carolina, his wife attended Duke. So he says it's quite the divided household. A couple of times.
Especially nowadays. Especially now.
1-1 to Maven, who, by the way, hold on, Mike Scioscia not happy with something.
Yeah, we're talking about the young umpire here at Mike Scioscia. And when you see this in spring training, and perhaps the umpire trying to make a statement who was, does not have the experience, to get Mike Scioscia this involved means that this has been going on for a while.
Mike Scioscia has been tossed from a spring training game, and he's going to get his money's worth here. Jose, what can this possibly be about?
Well, Mike Scioscia keeps pointing to the dugout as this. Perhaps you need to keep your eyes somewhere else, and you're focused on one thing, which is between the white lines. But, this happens often with the young umpires who just, take the opportunity in games like this to set a tone and perhaps be more aware of the voices coming. They want to prove a point as to belonging for some games in the big leagues, and sometimes you got to pick your spots. And Mike Scioscia is making it very clear that he thinks, of course, young Mike Scioscia is in the wrong.
He started the walk away and then went back over to the home plate umpire to get even more in.
And, of course, the rule is balls and strikes. You're not going to be arguing. Boy, no-hitter last night.
Manager getting thrown out today.
What is going on? Regular season started or what?
Who says there's nothing going on in spring training baseball? This is fantastic. Mike Scioscia will turn things over to Dino Ebel here for the rest of the way, Jose.
So Dino's and Ron Renickes. Boy, Mike Scioscia has to make that long walk now down the right field line.
He's still steaming. Maben tried to check his swing, was not able to hold up, and it's 1-2.
There goes Scioscia. He's going to run him down.
I don't think he'll be signing any autographs as he makes his way down the right field line. Maben strikes out. Angels come up empty in the bottom of the third, but they still lead it 4-1 as we head to the fourth. You're listening to the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Goldschmidt will lead it off for the Arizona Diamondbacks as we Play here in the top of the 4th inning. Angels lead at 4-1. A big blow today, a 2-run jack by Albert Pujols. And before Tyler Skaggs can throw a first pitch here in the 4th, Andrelton Simmons calls a timeout. Now we're back to it. Skaggs back on top, and Goldschmidt's ready to go. First pitch way outside. It's 1-0 to Paul Goldschmidt.
So what a day for a youngster behind home plate, Marcus Schoepel. He's a former Little League umpire in Poway, by the way. Promoted from AA to AAA in 2016. He began as a minor league umpire back in 2009, and he's going to have one afternoon that it's going to be hard to forget. He tossed Mike Scioscia in spring training.
1-1 pitch. Goldschmidt lines that down the left field line. That's going to get down. Maben will run it down there in the left field corner, and Goldschmidt will stand up with a leadoff double here in the 4th. And I imagine, Jose, when there was some chirping going on in the Angel dugout.
And that happens every game.
Right.
Every game this happens. You know, sometimes more frequently than others. A veteran umpire will raise his hand and go, guys, you know, that's enough. Okay, I've heard it. Okay, maybe I miss a couple here and there. And you see sometimes exchanges between managers and umpires between innings. You know what? I thought maybe that pitch, can you give it to my guy? Where is he missing? But you know, when you pay attention to one side or the other and you make a statement, then things, you know, get a little heated, and that's exactly what happened.
Well, it certainly did. It took a while for Soch to get off the field.
We saw Mike Winters. Mike Winters is the crew here. He's pretty much a mentor. He's got 27 years in the big leagues. He came down and pretty much in calmness tried to, you know, let it all work out. And I'm sure he was hoping it didn't get to that point, but now you got to move on and learn from it and get going.
0-1 to Jake Lamb, the Diamondbacks' third baseman. Pitch from Skaggs is upstairs. It's 1-1. What do you like from Skaggs so far, Jose?
I like the sequences and how Carlos Perez has been able to guide him along in getting back into counts and spreading the zone and using the breaking balls in certain situations and, you know, pitching backwards, which is a plus for somebody like him.
1-1 from the pride of Santa Monica High School. Catches the outside corner, and it's 1-2.
I see Jake Lamb going, wait a minute. Count should be 2-1. Well, Carlos Perez, smart enough, is going to start spreading the zone even more. Do a little Yadi Molina. Erase the white lines and spread the plate.
1-2, breaking ball and a beauty. And Lamb goes down looking. That's a great curveball from Tyler Skaggs.
That's what I'm talking about. The sequences that Carlos has implemented with him, I think, have him not thinking so much, have him consistent in a delivery and release point, and have him thinking, you know, regular season mentality. Let's get after it.
First out of the inning, Goldschmidt standing on second. Brandon Drury, the hitter. First pitch down low. It's 1-0 to Drury, who, by the way, got a lot of folks' attention last September when he hit .341 for the month, going 31 for 91 with 5 home runs and 17 RBIs in the month. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, that got his average up to .282 at the end.
The 1-0. Hit in the right field. Calhoun going back. He'll make the play on it for out number 2 as Goldschmidt goes back to second base.
Paul Goldschmidt probably going, I should have known that ball was going to carry a little bit more, because the outfielder caught that ball backpedaling on his heels. And as good a base runner as he is, he knows he should have tagged him at third base. You know, keep in mind about Goldschmidt, too. Paul Goldschmidt stole more bases than Mike Trout last year. Paul Goldschmidt knows how to steal a base. Excellent base runner, cuts the corners as good as anybody, and is quite instinctive.
Yeah, I gave you guys the numbers earlier. Goldschmidt only one of 3 first basemen in Major League history to have multiple seasons of 20 homers and 20 steals. That's pretty gosh darn impressive. First pitch to Del Scalzo is a ball. It's 1-0.
Skaggs 15 pitches first inning, 16 in the second, 27 in the third. So far 10 this inning.
Skaggs steps off the mound. Steps off the rubber, excuse me. It's 1-0. So what do you think, Jose? Garrett Richards, Matt Shoemaker, Ricky Nolasco, Tyler Skaggs, and Jesse Chavez. That's your 5 for to start the season?
I would say not necessarily in that order, but yes.
The pitch is line. Oh, ground.
Man.
Look at C.J. Cron. And he tosses to Tyler Skaggs for the final out of the 4th. That is a nice play right there. Cron, who, by the way, showed some athleticism and a great play last night in the 9th as well. C.J. Cron making a run to be the Angels' starting first baseman here in 2017. Diamondbacks do not score a run there in the 4th. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th. It's 4-1 good guys as you listen to the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Driven. C.J. Cron leads it off for the Halos here in the bottom of the 4th. And he fouls one down the left field line. It's 0-2 to Christopher John Cron, the pride of the University of Utah. And boy, did he make a dazzling play there defensively to end the top of the 4th inning, Jose.
Oh, as you mentioned also last night, how impressive he has been throughout the spring. And getting balls off the dirt, picking up his teammates, saving some errors. His range to his right has been really improved 100%. His left glove side, of course, much easier, but the footwork, it really shown off for C.J. Cron with the reps he's getting at the big league level. And he's put his time. Talking to him this morning, he's quite proud of the work he's put in with Dino and Alfredo. And he goes well, but to see it pay off, it's mightily nice, too.
It certainly is. 0-2 to Cron here. So tough when he went out last year, Jose, because when he did go out, he had raised his average from 237 on May the 29th to 278 when he went out on July the 8th. He was absolutely terrific. Had that incredible 2-game stretch at Fenway Park, including a 6-for-6 day at Fenway with 2 home runs, a double, and 5 RBIs in the 21-2 Angel romp. Check swing, he did not go. And it's 1-2 to C.J. Cron. And after his big game last season at Fenway, all he did was go 21 for his next 51. Pitch to Cron is skied to right field. Peralta goes back, and he'll put that away for out number 1 here in the Angel 4th.
Well, for those of you watching on Fox Sports West, of course you've seen the great image and on your screen of the wonderful, outstanding Mr. Angel Garrett Anderson, who is here as an invited guest and coach for a couple of days, and GA, who holds so many records in this franchise. And that quiet demeanor, boy, what a competitor, and so good to have him around here.
Look at GA in the dugout. He could go out and play a couple of innings. He looks in great shape.
Everyday GA. You talk about runs scored, hits, games played, RBI, doubles, everything. Go find that name, and of course, that outstanding and popular number 16.
Pitch to Simmons is down low. It's 2-0 to Andrelton Simmons. And
you can see, too, Roger, just like when he played. Little casual, sitting back there.
oh, yeah. No emotion.
All-time All-Star. He won a home run derby, for anybody that doesn't remember that. Sweet swinging GA won a home run derby.
Simmons grounds one down the third baseline, just foul. They'll go 2-1 to Simmons. And I talked about Crone and his amazing stretch last year. How about the amazing tear Simmons went on last season, hitting .375 in the month of June, with some pretty impressive streaks squeezed in there. He had 18 hits in his first 11 games last July, and then from July 18th through the 27th, he had 16 hits. In 10 games, he ended up going 36 for 96 last July. And Jose, I said it earlier, Mike Scioscia would take 281 again from Andrelton Simmons in a heartbeat.
The runs he saves are enough to complement anything he does above 250. And the way he runs the bases. He's also 10 for 11 in stealing bases. So, you know, another guy that will like to run a little bit more. And hopefully we'll push the envelope with the staff to say, just let us create some more offense somehow. But, you know, another thing about Simmons, too, in regards to the bat, he was a .327 hitter after the 7th inning. You think about that. After the 7th inning, you're not going to be facing the starter most of the time. Guys don't go 7 anymore. And he's facing some good arms. You're not facing the middle of the pack, 5th, 6th inning guy. After the 7th inning, he hit .327. That's clutch.
3-2 to Mr. Clutch. His foul back count will remain 3-2. Simmons coming over for Eric Ibar and pitching prospect Sean Newcomb and Chris Ellis. And if you look back at that deal, Jose, I think things turned out pretty well for our Halos.
Quite well. Eric Ibar on the verge of being named the Padres starting shortstop as of right now.
Simmons hits a hard ground ball off the glove of Jake Lamb at third, and Simmons is going to end up at second base. We'll see how they score that, but Simmons at second with one down as Daniel Espinosa strolls to the plate.
Well, for as good as Jake Lamb has been all throughout the afternoon, this is one that perhaps he'll like to have a little makeup on, because he got caught in between hops, and that will be an error on him. Got a little too complacent in not getting around that as much as he could.
Jake Lamb's got a lot of action down there at third base today.
He's been a busy man.
He's getting a workout in. So one down, Simmons at second. It's the pride of Modern Day High School in Southern California and the Long Beach State University, Daniel Espinosa. It's 0-1.
That was pitch number 64 for Taijuan Walker, who really has settled down after making 27 and facing 8 batters and allowing those 4 runs to the Angels in the first inning.
Walker checking in on Simmons out there at second.
Taijuan Walker now instructed by former Angels pitching coach Mike Butcher, who was, of course, part of that staff for the D-backs. Another former Angel, Chris Iannetta. Jeff Mathis is aboard with the D-backs. Of course, Zach Greinke.
Oh, yeah.
So there's some nice tie-ins between the Halos and the D-backs, including one Torey Lovullo, first-year manager.
How about that? 1-1 to Espinosa, third-round pick back in the 08 draft by the Washington Nationals. That's away. 2-1 to Espinosa. And by the way, when Espinosa made his major league debut back in 2010, he became the 37th player from Long Beach State to make it to the show. How about the baseball factory that's turned out to be?
It's been remarkable. All those dirtbags, they play the game the right way.
Pitch is fouled away. It's 2-2 to Espinosa. And whenever
that program, you consider from the pitchers to the position players to the sluggers. These are all guys that really get down to the grind and get their nose dirty and play the game right. The pitchers, you got the weave, you just, gamer type players come out of there. And of course, a lot of times, the program doesn't get the recognition it deserves, but certainly you can see the product on the field in the big leagues all throughout spread, and that'll be very proud of what they have polished.
Espinosa swings and strikes out on a pitch upstairs. That'll be out number 2 as Carlos Perez will stroll to the plate. 4-1. Angels lead it here as we play in the bottom of the 4th inning. Taijuan Walker certainly getting his work, and he's settled down since he gave up 4 runs in the 1st inning. And after Espinosa strikes out there, we were talking to Tim Meade, the vice president of communications for the Angels earlier, talking about as Perez hits one down the left field line and deep, and that ball is going to go. Carlos Perez with a 2-run homer, and the Angels lead it 6-1.
Carlos was telling me before the game today, I need to spread out a little bit more. I've been way too close, and I need to see the ball a little bit better. Sit and track baseballs into the zone more. He's been practicing this in the batting cage against the breaking ball machines to make sure he's really going back and loading on time and not jumping at the baseball. And with that leg kick, 2 hands on the bat of contact and finish, it truly pays off in keeping that ball fair there.
So 6-1 Halos as Escobar stands in.
I will say, Carlos, go ahead and stay spread out and use those hands as he just did.
How about the Halos today? 6 runs, all of them scored after there were 2 out. Escobar hit back to the mound. Taijuan Walker will throw over to first for the final out of the 4th inning, but not before the Angels get 2 on the Perez home run. They lead it 6-1 as we play on, as you listen to the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Angels lead at 6-1 as the Diamondbacks come to bat here in the top of the 5th inning. Our old pal Chris Iannetta will step in. And I say our old pal because he spent so much time as a Halo as you watch Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, and you listen to Angels baseball on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. And we also say hello to our friends on Fox Sports Arizona watching the game today. And a lot of those fans watch Devin Booker score 70 points for the Phoenix Suns last night. How about that?
Yikes, take the ball and shoot and score. Wow.
70 points in one NBA game. Only the 6th guy to ever do that in the association. That was pretty impressive. 1-2 to Chris Iannetta, the pride of the University of North Carolina. Here's the 1-2. Lined.
They also take a look at their D-backs. The 13-11 record coming into today. A couple of ties. New manager. Different coaching staff. A lot of new personnel. Descalzo, Fernando Rodney, Iannetta, Mathis, Ketel Marte, Taijuan Walker. Hoping for better things to come out for the D-backs.
Downstairs to Iannetta. 2-2 the count. You mentioned Torey Lovullo. First year as this Diamondback manager. We all remember Torey, of course, played 1 year for the Halos back in 1993. His playing days included stops in Detroit, New York for the Yankees in 91, the Angels in 93, Seattle. Worked his way around the big leagues as a minor league manager. Spent a lot of time with John Farrell. You talk about a guy who paid his dues. Torey Lovullo is exactly that, Jose.
Oh, he's earned it. I think, what elevated also his status a little bit more, not that it should not have been, is when he took over for John Farrell over in Boston when Farrell had to go through the cancer treatment, and the players said, this guy is a true leader. And to do it in that market and to have the players behind you really meant a lot. And for a few interviews and just coming close, Torey is truly deserving, and it's one voice that is going to be an asset here, hopefully for many years for the D-backs.
Iannetta with a ground ball single to left. He leads things off here with that leadoff single. And on that note, it looks like Dino Ebel's heading to the mound, and that'll do it for Tyler Skaggs. So Skaggs' day will end, and he was pretty impressive, Jose, no doubt about it. And on the pitching change, we'll head to a break here as you listen to the Angel Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Driven. Number 66, Chris O'Grady, is the new Angel pitcher here, replacing Tyler Skaggs. This is spring training appearance number 6 for O'Grady. He's thrown 3 1/3 innings so far this spring, giving up 3 hits. He has struck out 4. Batters hitting .231 against him. Very impressive, though, Jose. He has not allowed an earned run so far.
Oh, he's come in here and thrown strikes and brought into the fire many times in middle of games to rescue a starter that just got to his pitch limit. Come in and serve as a bridge for some of the guys coming later in games, and he's helped his cause. And no matter what, even if you've been sent down to the minor leagues, if you're a guy in the bubble, you do well, and they will remember your name. And there's many surprises that happen, Roger, too, when those injuries come early in the season. First week, second week, and before you know it, it's perhaps not the guy that you thought was going to get the first call-up that gets the call. All based on need.
Well, Angel fans are well aware of injuries after what happened to this ball club last season, hoping to avoid that here in 2017. O'Grady's next pitch is skied to right field. Cole Calhoun will put that away for the first out. Iannetta back to first, one down in the inning. Taijuan Walker will hit.
That's what O'Grady has been able to do. The first batter efficiency, which is key for anybody vying for a relief spot. First batter efficiency to come in and rescue your team or a teammate with men in scoring position or just men on base.
And whether or not O'Grady makes the opening day roster, I mean, he has really opened some eyes here this spring. He, like you mentioned, he's come into some pressure situations and he has performed very well, and he's done nothing but throw strikes. Walker's going to bunt up along first. Cron's going to field it for one, and they'll go back to Espinoza, and they get the inning-ending double play. How about that? Some fine defense by the Angels here in the top of the fifth inning. Arizona, no runs in the inning. Will go to the bottom of the fifth. The Angels lead at 6-1. The Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West.
It's hot.
And we are back, boy. We talk about a clinic put on by C.J. Cron all throughout the spring, but since last night, he is Mr. Gloveman. Does it again to finish off that inning. He put this play on as describing. He knows a pitcher is going to bunt. As a National League pitcher, needs to get some work in. He crashes in and throws a strike to second. Before you know it, 3-6-1. Inning over. Just like that, his confidence, Roger. It's just growing and growing, and certainly what an asset to have a dependable C.J. Cron around that bag.
He has certainly had himself a day defensively for the Halos. Made a great play last night to preserve the spring training no-hitter for the Halos. 8 different pitchers took the mound last night. Not a single Mariner reached base via a hit.
And the best thing for a young first baseman is to understand. You put the time in. You understand the throws coming in from every angle, every position. Communication is key. And know that your foot, the work, your feet, quickness, first step, and all that, truly, you're diligent about it. Eventually in the games, it will pay off. And I'll say this very cautiously. Hopefully, this will continue on in the regular season.
Well, we certainly hope that's the case as Cole Calhoun bats here.
And not just the results, Roger, the work. You know, the work should never stop. I mean, guys do a lot of extra BP and soft toss. I mean, the defensive work also should be a part of what the guy continues to polish off and continue to get better at.
1-2 to the Angel right fielder Cole Calhoun. Just missed inside. It's 2-2. And we talked earlier about the college, the team that Cole Calhoun played on in Arizona State, talking about guys like Mike Leake, Austin Barnes, Jason Kipnis, Josh Spence. It's one of the best college teams I've ever heard of, Jose.
Bunch of guys that also go out there and get it.
No doubt as he lines that foul.
And understand the game. You know, those players are instructed so well and taught so well over repetition after repetition, going to class and grinding it out on the fields in practice and long hours and bus rides and all that. You get to professional baseball, they have a better flow sometimes than the guys teaching them.
2-2 to Cole, just misses. Count goes full. 3-2 to Cole Calhoun. And you talk about the collegiate career that Cole had. This guy hit .563 in the 2009 College World Series with 3 home runs, one of them a grand slam. Pretty impressive. Taps that back to the mound. Walker will throw him out for out number 1.
Long swing. And a great job there by Taijuan Walker. Outstanding arm action, arm speed on the off speed that got Cole Calhoun to cue it off the end of the bat.
That ovation you hear is for Mike Trout as he steps up to the plate.
It is winding down as some of these regulars will be playing their last games here on Tuesday before heading back to Southern California.
Trout swings and misses 0-1. How important was it for these guys to get a night game in last night?
It helps, of course, when you change your routine, you show up to the ballpark a little bit later. But, you know, training your eyes is one aspect of baseball sometimes is taken for granted.
Yeah.
And the game started a little bit earlier, you know, not 7 o'clock start, but for sure, anytime you could get some reps and try to see and track the ball under the lights, of course, that's what we're going to do most of the time in the regular season. Why not?
Look at that. Trout lines one down the left field line. That's going to go into the corner. And Trout's going to ease up and cruise into second base with a 1-out double.
Train your eyes to see the ball, no matter if it's daylight or nighttime, and no matter what, Mike Trout is one of the best at doing exactly that. He can walk for you, he can drive the baseball, and landing on time. We see more and more of that. That foot gets down, as Mike talks about time after time, and it's much easier to get something good to hit and square it and not miss. And the in-between, what he gets into sometimes is when his foot is not down, he gets in between and does not hit pitches like that with authority.
So Trout out there at second with 1 out in the inning, and Albert Pujols stands in as Walker fakes a toss over to second base. Back on top now. Looking in at Albert Pujols. 309 lifetime average in the big leagues with 591 career home runs for the machine. First pitch. Hard ground ball hit the short. Del Scasso throws across for out number 2.
Always dependable as shortstop Nick Ahmed, who
Nick Ahmed. Sorry,
understands positioning so well. Ahmed got this, of course, the D-backs are happy to have on the field after the issues last year with his hip. And one of the best fielders in all of baseball in that position. That was great. He was positioned correctly for Pujols, not overshifted, but just understanding who's on the mound, the pitch sequence coming, and the type of hitter Pujols is. Good job rounding and getting in front of that baseball.
So 2 down. Cameron Maben back in there, going with the pants lower today, down around his shoes as opposed to up past his knees.
Yeah, whatever works. He doesn't have the Hunter Pence look today.
Looking to change things up. He came into this game .067 spring average, but then again, Jose, maybe trying to impress the new organization, his teammates, pressing a little. Can you press in spring training?
Definitely. It does happen. It could be a veteran guy. It could be a younger guy. But usually the veteran guys will admit to it a little bit later and say, you know what? I was pressing even in spring training.
1-1 the pitch. That's on the outside corner. 1-2 to Cameron Maybin. You mentioned Nick Ahmed playing shortstop today for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
He can pick it.
His AAA manager Phil Nevin said he was not quite Omar Vizquel, but as close as he's seen in a while. That's quite a compliment.
He gets to the baseball, he's going to catch it.
1-2 to Maybin. The pitch. Breaking balls upstairs. Count even at 2-2. Angels lead at 6-1 here. So we play in the bottom of the 5th. C.J. Cron would be next, as Maybin looks to keep the inning alive. Here comes the 2-2. High 3-2 to Cameron Maybin.
When Maybin, as ugly as the numbers look for him, results have not been there consistently here in spring training. His pitch selection has not been terrible either. I mean, it's not like he's out there chasing everything, as you can see here, working a count against a firm thrower like Taijuan Walker. He's on all throughout the spring.
It's going to be a ground ball up the middle, and look at the play at second base by Drury. It's going to go as a single for Cameron Maybin. Outstanding stop. Trout gets to third. Runners at the corners. As C.J. Cron will step in.
That's how you play the game. Troy Lovello knows all about that, and you got to knock the ball down, and precisely because of that mentality, you're able to catch it and stop that run from scoring.
Torey Lovello is going to make his way to the mound, and that will do it for Taijuan Walker's afternoon. And we'll take a break right here as you listen to Angels Baseball on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and on Fox Sports West. Jeremy Blake will be the new Arizona Diamondbacks pitcher here, number 85 on the back of that maroon jersey. Pitched in Double-A last year for Arizona and Triple-A as well. And all he has to do is come in with runners at the corners, 2 outs, and face C.J. Cron.
One of the hottest Angels, a man who's gotten the most at-bats here in spring training. And, of course, anytime C.J. Cron can see a lefty, you'll welcome it, considering that he's always been a better hitter against right-handed pitchers than against left-handers.
290 against right-handers last season, 237 against left-handed pitching. As Blake goes over to first to check Maybin back. No doubt Cameron Maybin can steal you a base, Jose.
And he gets good leads. That's one thing about Maybin, too. He's quite knowledgeable on how far he can get and knowledgeable about what the guy has on the mound.
Pitch to Cron outside, 1-0. And I mentioned Maybin earlier. He can steal you a base. In fact, last year, when he scored a run, 34-9 were the Tigers. So when he gets around the bases and comes home to score, good things usually happen for your ball club. Here's the pitch to Crone. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1.
You know what will help you score a lot of runs? Guys like Pujols, guys like Trout. And, of course, he had Miguel Cabrera and Victor Martinez and J.D. Martinez also pushing him in with Detroit. Not a bad combos he's been around.
Pitch to Crone. It's foul back. 1-2 to C.J. Crone. Another thing about Cameron Maybin, 380 last year for the Tigers with runners in scoring position. That's pretty impressive.
So let's leave the bad stuff here, and hopefully the good stuff will start once that bell rings against the A's very soon.
Amen to that. April 3rd up in Oakland, and then, of course, the Angels home opener Friday night, April the 7th, against the Seattle Mariners. Make your plans to be out at the house that the Cowboy built that Artie's made even better, a.k.a. the Big A. Looking forward to a great opening night this year. April the 7th, Angels Mariners. The pitch to Crone. Swing. And he doesn't get it. How about Blake coming in, strikes out C.J. Crone, and that will end the Angels' 5th. We'll head to the 6th inning. Angels up 6-1 as you listen to Angels baseball on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Michael Morin's your new Angel pitcher here as we start the top of the 6th inning. Pretty good day so far for the Halo Hurlers. Tyler Skaggs, Chris O'Grady, and now Michael Morin will pitch the 6th.
Anytime Mike Morin's out on the mound, it's an opportunity to go out there and improve, dating back to last year. He comes in 7 games, ERA 6.14. He's allowed a total of 12 hits over 7 1/3 innings. The opponent's hitting .375 against him.
He'll face A.J. Pollock to lead off the Diamondbacks 6th inning. Pollock just getting back with the big club after spending some time playing minor league games after dealing with some growing tightness. Played in some minor league games on Tuesday and Wednesday. And he hits a ground ball to third. Escobar's up with it. He throws low, and look at C.J. Crone dig it out. C.J. Crone having a day with the leather.
C.J., this is your show, man. Take over. He is picking everything and throwing on the spot. Flinging balls, sidearm, underarm, it doesn't matter. And he just saved Escobar an error.
And the thing I know you have to love, Jose, is you see because you're here for a 7 o'clock game or a 1 o'clock game. You're here. These guys are here early in the morning, and to see the hard work C.J. Crone has put in starting to pay off. You have to be thrilled to see that.
And he's even more thrilled. But we're thrilled to see that, that at least young players understand it never is wasted on you. Anytime you put some extra work and extra effort, it never goes to waste. And Alfredo Griffin, Mike Gallego, I spent countless times and hours hitting. Sometimes they hit fungos from the second base position to Crone and other first basemen directly in line with the bag and around the bag to see how they pick, and really going out there and implying start with that glove as low as possible. Let the hop dictate what you do with it. In long day, you got to read hops. You have to accommodate your feet. You got to know where the bag is, and so forth.
Morin's gone 3-0 to Peralta here. This is appearance number 8 for Mike Morin this spring. The 3-0s right down the middle, 3-1 to David Peralta. Michael Morin, an ERA of 6.14 this spring, 7 1/3 innings. He's given up 12 hits so far this spring, and that pitch is skied to right field. Cole Calhoun's going to move in and put that away for the second out of the inning. So 2 down as Goldschmidt strolls to the plate.
And the battle for the bullpen is quite tight, as J.C. Ramirez has surprised many people, as Billy Epler, Angels general manager, told us today, and how efficient J.C. Ramirez has been as a starter. But Bud Norris, Blake Parker, of course, the back end with Bedrosian, and you have Bailey, you have Alvarez, and guys that perhaps could sneak in there. And Billy also said it's going to come down to the Freeway Series before we decide. But Morin's one guy that on the outside kind of looking in, but is a guy that has had success in the past. And Angels most likely to break with 7 relievers.
It's 2-0 to Paul Goldschmidt here. 2 down. Top of the 6th inning. Angels lead at 6-1. Pitch is inside. 3-0 to Goldschmidt. Jake Lamb, the third baseman, would be next if Goldschmidt can reach. Michael Morin, another player out of the University of North Carolina. Goldschmidt swinging 3-0, and he fouls it straight back.
Yeah,
3-1.
He was thinking, how far can I hit it?
He's looking to hit that on the freeway.
Look how disciplined he was, though. That was not even a pull swing. 3-0. That's knowledge of your swing, who you are, and also reacting to where the pitch was. And he made contact. That ball was going to be traveling middle to the opposite field.
Goldschmidt, a 4-time All-Star. .297 last year with 24 homers. That pitch is grounded to short. Simmons up. He'll throw across in time to C.J. Crone to end the top of the 6th inning for Arizona. No runs in the inning. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We've gone 5.5 at Tempe Diablo Stadium. It's 6-1 Angels on the Angel Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Angels lead at 6-1 as we play here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Changes galore for the Diamondbacks here in the bottom of the 6th. New pitcher, Fernando Rodney. Old friend Fernando Rodney, he of the crooked hat, takes over on the mound for the Diamondbacks. Jeremy Hazelbaker is going to play right field. And how about this, Jose? C.J. Cron's brother, Kevin Cron, playing first base for these Arizona Diamondbacks.
He's already being teased out there.
Look at that. They're all over him.
Throwing pebbles at him. He's a big man.
Andrelton Simmons will lead it off here to face Fernando Rodney.
It makes that whole family quite proud. Their father, former Ranger himself, Chris Cron.
And Raymond Fuentes will take over in center field for Arizona as well. First pitch from Rodney is outside. 1-0. Angels lead at 6-1 as we play in the bottom of the 6th. Next pitch to Simmons. That's a strike.
In fact, Chris Cron, Papa, is in the Diamondbacks organization as the hitting coordinator. Good to see both of the boys first base. One already putting up a show with a glove, and hopefully you'll see the same thing from
the 1-1 a ball. 2-1. 2-1.
The newest Cron on the field.
Espinoza on deck. Halos rolling with the regulars here as we play in the bottom of the 6th inning. Rodney's ready. Here comes the 2-1. Just missed inside. 3-1.
Albert Pujols on the railing, watching his good friend Fernando Rodney. They've been joking around since Rodney hit the field early before the game.
That's skewed up along first, and look at that. You enter the game, the ball finds you, and Cron will put that away. Oh, he'll run that over to the bag for route number 1. Hey, calling all fans and runners, join us on April the 22nd for the Angels 5K and Family Fun Run presented by St. Joseph Hoag Health. Participants get a T-shirt, a medal, and a ticket voucher for select 2017 home games. All the proceeds benefit the Angel Baseball Foundation. I have had the pleasure and the honor of hosting that event the last 4 or 5 years, Jose. We get about 5,000 to 6,000 runners at the Big A at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning. I encourage everyone to take part in that. It is a wonderful event.
Well, Terry and I were talking about how many fans make it from here over there and start training here with the Angels themselves.
Amazing.
They start doing their rounds around the complex.
Espinoza is going to ground out to second base. Brandon Drury as one second baseman retires the other, so we have 2 down here. And that'll bring up Carlos Perez. Let's pause for station identification on the Angels Baseball Radio Network. First pitch to CP5A. Carlos Perez is outside. 1-0. What do you like out of Perez so far this spring, Jose?
I think he's got a better idea on the strike zone and also his base as a hitter. Pitch selection, things like that should make him a more efficient hitter are some of the things he needs to go out there and carry on to the regular season. You know, at times Carlos just kind of lunges at the ball, hits a lot of lazy fly balls to right field, but he has a little bit more in that bat. There's a guy that hit 377 in September of 2015 when the Angels made that push. He was catching every day. In fact, he pushed Chris Iannetta out of the starting job, and I know offensively there's more from him.
2-1 Perez here, who I mentioned last year started out hitting a woeful 148.
Yeah, that's tough to
in the month of April.
Come back from that.
Yeah.
You know, and for Carlos, now a new daddy, he says, well, I got to take a little bit more seriously. I got another mouth to feed.
It's grounded to third, and our guy Jake Lamb scoops that up, throws across, and that will end it for the Angels here in the 6th. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We've played 6 at Tempe. The Angels lead at 6-1 on the Angel Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. The bottom of the 6th inning was brought to you by Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana. Rotolo Chevrolet, pursuing excellence every single day. Visit them at rotolo.com. That's rotolo.com. Angels make a lot of changes here as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Blake Parker is your new pitcher. Jeffrey Marte is in at third base. Ben Revere is your new center fielder. Shane Robinson's over and left. Ray Navarro's playing second base, and Matt Williams is your new shortstop.
And here it is, one of the best stories in all spring training is Blake Parker. Last outing, 5 batters faced, 5 strikeouts.
In another case, Jose, where I'm not sure if Blake Parker is going to make the opening day roster, but again, he's opened a lot of eyes and people will pay attention to him from this point forward.
I will say if spring training ended today, he is on my roster. I mean, this guy has done everything but show that he can help you out of that bullpen. He's thrown strikes. He's been at times dominant. As I mentioned, 5 batters faced, 5 strikeouts last time out. He's got a 1.08 ERA through 8 games, 12 total strikeouts in 8 1/3. So I don't see any reason why, with the Angels in the holes they're trying to plug out of that bullpen, why he wouldn't be on the team today. He's got a swing and miss in him, and fastball works down well. He has a nice feel for his delivery and adjusting, complimenting for his breaking ball, and he really does a good job as a veteran pitcher, just in working every quadrant available for him.
No doubt, he's certainly been impressive. 1-2 here, and he strikes out Jake Lamb there, so that makes it 6 strikeouts for the last 6 batters that he has faced here in Cactus League play.
There it is. Forget about the thin air and not being able to grab the baseball. He has had as much break and feel for the off-speed as anyone here in camp. You see his window. That slot where it comes out of, it looks all the same. And I talked to a couple of opposing batters that faced him last time out. It just looks all the same. Same arm speed, delivery, pause, and then it just disappears.
Brendan Drury, the next batter. He takes a strike. It's 0-1. If you're just joining us, Angel manager Mike Scioscia ejected from the spring training game. Next pitch is a strike. It's 0-2 to Drury. No better way to impress the coaching staff than to just come in and throw strikes. And this young man, Blake Parker, has certainly done that. He's 0-2 here to Drury. Here's the 0-2. He swings and doesn't get it. Wow. So Drury strikes out. 7 up, 7 down in his last 2 appearances, all via the strikeout for Angel right-hander Blake Parker.
He is accumulating them in pretty much around the same patterns, sequences, fastballs, off-speed, slider, changeup, everything is around the zone, and that's impressing many people. Parker's been pitching professionally since 2007. And he was claimed off waivers by the Angels December 23rd from the Milwaukee Brewers. He's a 31-year-old. He's been in the big leagues with the Cubs, with the Mariners, and with the Yankees. Last year, spent time with both Seattle and New York.
Daniel Descalso checks that one, chops it up along the first baseline foul. It's 0-2.
Also part of his history is that he began his professional career as a position player and then made the transition on becoming a pitcher. And the story gets better, of course, once you make that transition, Roger, and you make it to the big leagues.
Well, he's looking for his 8th Cactus League strikeout in a row, and he's not going to get it as Descalso hits that into left field for a base hit. So a 2-out single here for the Diamondbacks, and Chris Iannetta will be the batter. Attendance today, 9,590 at Tempe Diablo Stadium. Hey, if you have a group of 20 or more interested in experiencing Angels baseball, receive group ticket pricing for as low as $8 per seat. Call 888-796-HALO. That's 888-796-HALO. Or visit angels.com/group for more details.
Pinch runner first base, Kelly Dugan makes his way to first base to pinch run for Daniel Descalzo.
Chris Iannetta takes a strike. It's 0-1 to the former Angel backstop, Chris Iannetta. Chris Iannetta now involved in the wine business, Jose. You see him often tweeting out about...
Often, oh yes, along with Vernon Wells.
Yeah, about that. That's down low, and it's 1-1 to Iannetta. I know things didn't turn out all that great for Vernon Wells in an Angel uniform, but he has to go down as one of my all-time favorite Halos because 4 or 5 years ago here down in spring training, my son, who was about 8 years old at the time, desperately wanted the Vernon Wells autograph, but my son realized he didn't have a pen. And so Vernon Wells just took off his batting gloves, handed them both to my son, and from that point forward, Vernon Wells was one of my all-time favorite ball players.
As a father himself of young boys, he understands the importance and, the impact a moment like that could have on a youngster. Look, he reached all the way down to the sports lodge.
There you go. Sports lodge karma. 1-2 to Iannetta, the pitch. Just missed. 2-2.
The other thing about Vernon Wells and how things didn't work out for him here, but if you could go back and ask somebody, how many home runs do you think Vernon Wells hit his first year with the Angels?
Yeah.
People go, maybe 12, maybe, maybe 6. The guy hit 25 home runs that year.
It's amazing. It's amazing how people forget.
All because, of course, a horrible start. Then the groin issues, they just accumulated and mounted up.
Look at Blake Parker. He strikes out Iannetta. No horrible start here for the right-handed pitcher as he strikes out Iannetta. He gets 2 strikeouts here in the top of the 7th. No runs for the Diamondbacks, and we have played 6.5 here at Tempe Diablo Stadium. Angels lead at 6-1 as you listen to the Angels Baseball Radio Network, and you're watching Angels Baseball on Fox Sports.
DVAC spring training
Jorge De La Rosa is your new Diamondbacks pitcher as the Angels bat here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Shane Robinson in the batter's box for your Halos. They lead at 6-1 as we play here. Some changes for Arizona defensively here in the 7th inning. We'll give those to you in a moment. Pitch to Robinson is upstairs, and it's 1-1.
Roger, here comes your biggest test.
Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. Michael Perez is your new catcher.
There you go.
Christopher Negron is in the ball game, number 14. And a third baseman, Marty Harum, who wears number 90, playing third base for the Diamondbacks. And
that's the infamous not listed anywhere.
yes.
And thanks, Scotty Schneider, helping us out here.
And Kelly Dugan stays in the game as well. Angels lead at 6-1. Shane Robinson at the plate. Breaking ball outside, 2-2.
Had a team media relations coordinator come up here the other day and say, oh, you know what? Some guys just decided to sneak on the bus. So here they are. They're not listed anywhere.
This is number 90 kid. He wants to play, Marty Harum.
He just happened to get in there.
2-2 to Robinson. Inside, the count is full. You got to love spring training baseball, Jose. You just got to love it.
And you got to love also being in this area. I mean, the hospitality we receive from the many people here in the Phoenix area is just unbelievable.
It really is.
And good to see that we're aboard and broadcasting on Fox Sports Arizona with our many friends also in that broadcast team. So here they are. Let's list them.
Love it.
Steve Berthiaume, of course, we've known for many years. Bob Brenly, who was a world champion manager, Brenly. Greg Schulte on radio play-by-play. Tom Candiotti on his knuckler.
Yes.
Mike Farron does a good job on their radio play-by-play, pre and post, and also nationally. In Espanol, Oscar Soria, Rodrigo Lopez, Richard Science.
Here's the 3-2 to Robinson. Foul back. It stays 3-2.
Fox Sports Arizona. Mark Grace.
Mark Grace.
Jody Jackson, Todd Walsh, and of course former pitcher Brandon Webb. All of them our colleagues. A sweet hello, and for them to have a good, successful season calling the D-backs games this season in 2017.
Shane Robinson at the plate, another one of those Angel outfielders trying to make the squad here in 2017 to start the season. Hey, register for the 714 Tickets 7th inning sweepstakes. If your name is announced during the 7th inning, you'll win 2 Angel tickets and $25 in 714 ticket bucks, and you'll be a finalist to win the big money. As Robinson lines one down the right field line, that's going to get down for a base hit. A leadoff single here in the 7th for Shane Robinson. I just want to remind everyone, register for that 714 Tickets 7th inning sweepstakes, and when you do, you'll automatically become a finalist for a chance to win $7,140. Go to am830.net, enter the keyword 714 tickets. 714 tickets, 714 tickets, 714 tickets. Call today. You can go tonight. And yes, I just sang during the broadcast, much to the chagrin of my partner, Jose Mota.
Actually sounded like recorded commercial. That was Pollo playing the tape.
Is that what that was?
Jorge Sevilla, good job.
It's not quite the parrot.
He's on cue.
Oh, you can't teach what Jorge does here. Ben Revere at the plate for the Angels. And boys, he had himself a terrific spring, Jose.
Ben Revere is healthy. He brings a lot to the table. Slashes the ball everywhere. Of course, finds holes through the infield.
And he hits a ground ball to the left side. That's going to get down. That's going to get through the infield for a hit. Robinson's going to make his way with a head-first slide into third. So the Angels looking to add on here in the bottom of the 7th. They already lead at 6-1. First and third, nobody out. Here comes Jeffrey Marte to the plate.
Is Ben Revere at his best. Came into this game hitting .390, doing exactly that. What had led him to one time lead the National League in hits and runs. That type of swing that just did not have all of last season after the oblique issue on opening day.
First at bat of the season, Jose. He strained the oblique.
Yep.
Tried to stay in the game, had to leave in the 5th inning. Tried to come back too soon a couple of times and ended up hitting .217, but wow. Ben Revere can play, and he's really impressed a lot of people here in spring training.
Now, the Angels have been, on the search for Revere for a couple of seasons. Almost acquired him a couple of years back during the trading deadline.
Marte hits a towering pop fly down the right field line. They're chasing after it. Look at that play right there by Christopher Negron, and tagging him, scoring from third bases. The heads-up play by Shane Robinson to make it a 7-1 ball game.
Oh, you know, if the right fielder is not playing shallow, the toughest play is going to be, of course, by the second baseman facing the right fielder, and it's back to home plate. No rush by anybody who was at third base. You tag and you take your time, because by the time the second baseman retrieves the baseball, turns around and fires away, you got to be sliding in there safely, as Robinson just did.
And here's Dustin Ackley pinch hitting for the Angels with 1 out. Runner at first. De La Rosa will throw over and check Ben Revere back to the bag.
So Jeffrey Marte will go back with a sac fly and a swing that, of course, he didn't like. But look at the results, all because of the people preceding you in that lineup, making some things happen.
How about Dustin Ackley at the plate? That's your former 2nd overall pick in the 2009 draft, right after Steven Strasburg. Facing De La Rosa, the pitch. That's a strike. 0-1 to Dustin Ackley.
It's good to see Ackley back on the field. He was held back for a couple of weeks, actually, because of the slow return from his shoulder and surgery. But at one time, a very reliable bat with the Seattle Mariners.
Pitch to Ackley. That's on the outside edge. 0-2. Ackley didn't like the call. So 0-2 to Dustin Ackley. And another North Carolina Tar Heel. A lot of those in this game today.
Basketball around here today.
Wow. Chris Iannetta, Michael Morn, Cameron Maben. How about that? That pitch is flied into center field. Raymond Fuentes will come in, the new center fielder, and put that away. For out number 2 here in the 7th. Eric Young Jr. will get a chance to hit here. 2 down. Angels lead it 7-1. Most of our crowd still with us here. No one leaving this game early to see their Diamondbacks here in Arizona.
It was quite pleasant now with the cloud cover. Also, what, 80 degrees at game time? Can't beat that.
Beautiful day.
Cool morning. It was in the low 60s around 8 a.m. A lot of folks on spring break enjoying the weekend.
De La Rosa's first offering to Young is way outside. Michael Perez going to go out and talk to him.
De La Rosa, for many years, quite a reliable starter for the Colorado Rockies. And a guy that never shied away, was never afraid of pitching at Coors Field. The injuries took a toll on him. Not the same guy that he was 3 or 4 years ago. But certainly a guy that made a name for himself and signed a hefty contract at one point with the Rockies.
1-0. It's fouled back into the right field seats, and it'll go 1-1 to Eric Young Jr. Another guy trying to make this squad here, Jose, as we wind down Cactus League play.
He's done everything in his power to at least keep himself elevated on the depth chart. He's run well. He's put the ball in play. He's shown gap-to-gap power, a couple of home runs. He knows how to steal a base, not just having speed. This guy knows how to steal a base. Former National League stolen base champion.
Most people forget that Ben Revere back in 2014 hit .306 with 49 steals for a Phillies team that won only 73 games. Pitch foul back. It's 1-2 to Eric Young. And during that 2014 season, Ben Revere was hitting .298 when the Phillies traded him to Toronto for prospects. And what did he do for Toronto? Hit .319 for Toronto in 56 regular season games, and then hit .304 in the American League Division Series against Texas. Ben Revere can play, and if he can stay healthy, I think he can really contribute to the Halos.
He's going to complement with Maben quite well over in left field. Left-handed bat. He's played some center field, and he can run. There he goes.
1-2 to Young. That's stroked into left field for a hit. Revere's going to keep on going and head to third. And Young's going to started the second, puts on the brakes, and he'll go back to the bag. So the Angels first and third with 2 outs. They already lead at 7-1. C.J. Cron will step in.
Eric Young Jr. continues to help his cause. Came into the game with a .385 on base percentage. He has stolen a total of 4 bases. He has shown the ability to put the ball in play with some authority there. Surprised he did not end up at second base as the left fielder Dugan made the throw to third.
So here's big C.J. Cron at the plate, looking to add on to the 7-1 Angel lead. Seven to 1 Angels here, bottom of the 7th. The pitch to Cron is waved at and missed, 0-1.
Jorge De La Rosa's got a couple of seasons with 16 wins under his belt. And talk about a guy that throughout his career pitching in Colorado as a visitor and as a member of the home club. He had a year at Coors where he went 10-1, followed by a 10-2 season, Roger, after that. And his ERAs, even pitching in Coors, were as high as 5.40 and as low as 2.76. Career record at Coors Field, 53-20 with a 4.29.
At Coors Field, I think any pitcher would take those numbers in a heartbeat. That's pretty impressive.
You better believe it.
1-2 to Cron. Diamondbacks with a little action down in their bullpen down the left field line. Here's the pitch. Inside, out in front of the plate. Young's going to go down the second, and he's going to make it.
Oh, ball got away from the catcher. Michael Pettis makes a nice recovery. Makes a nice throw, just a tad high for the sliding and fleet-footed Eric Young Jr. Ball didn't go all that far, but just a great secondary lead in the first step off the bag.
Two and 2 to Cron with 2 outs here. 7-1 Angels. Here it comes from De La Rosa, and Cron breaks his bat and hits one pretty deep down the left field line that will go foul. He broke his bat in half.
Thank goodness for that net.
My goodness, that was dangerous, flying straight towards the Diamondback coaching staff. Wow. Look at this, Jose.
I mean, this is unbelievable. It's a helicopter blade flying right on top of that netting behind Troy LeBeau and the staff. And I'm a huge fan of prolonging and extending those nets. It's going to save a lot of damage to some people and some heartache to the teams.
So 2 and 2 to Cron. Everyone seems to be okay, and here comes the pitch. That's skied to right field. Jeremy Hazelbaker moving towards the line, and he'll put that away to end the Angels' 7th. We've played 7 innings at Tempe Diablo Stadium, and the Angels lead at 7-1 as you listen to Angels baseball on the Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Ketel Marte. Hey, Kirby Yates is your new Angel pitcher here. In the top of the 8th inning, Angels lead it by a score of 7-1. The Angels 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Diamondbacks 1 run, 5 hits, and 2 errors. Appearance number 9 this spring for Kirby Yates. He's gone 8 in the 3rd innings. He's allowed 8 hits. 8 earned runs. The ERA 8.64. Nick Ahmed will lead it off for the Diamondbacks. Ketel Marte has moved into the on-deck circle, and he will pinch hit after Nick Ahmed leads off the top of the 8th for the Diamondbacks. The right-hander Yates is ready, and here comes his first pitch here in the top of the 8th. Ahmed will take a strike. It's 0-1.
Well, each outing for Yates becomes even more important now. His 9th appearance, 1-0 record, 8.64 ERA. He has allowed 8 earned runs, including 3 home runs in 8 in the 3rd innings. He does have 12 strikeouts and only 2 walks. Just got to keep the ball down in the zone and understand that the competition continues to heat up even more now, Roger, with Blake Parker again striking out 3 more batters today.
And Blake Parker has been terrific this spring for the Halos and has opened a lot of eyes as Nick Ahmed hits one to left. Shane Robinson will come up and put that away for the first out here in the Diamondback 8th. 1 down as Ketel Marte will hit for the Diamondbacks. Ketel Marte, 23-year-old from the Dominican Republic, spent his first 2 big league seasons with the Mariners, who traded him along with today's Diamondback starter, Taijuan Walker, for Gene Segura and outfielder Mitch Haniger, and a pitcher by the name of Zach Curtis.
Mariners acquired themselves a heck of a player in Segura, the former Angel we saw here yesterday. 203 hits for Segura with the D-backs last year. And now goes back to second base. We're back to shortstop, I should say. We saw him play flawlessly last night. But Marte, a guy that perhaps the Mariners thought was going to be, a guy that you could develop next to Robinson Cano. Has some spurts of greatness, but right now finding consistency somehow.
Marte on the DL the first half of last season because of a thumb injury, and he missed nearly a month after the All-Star game because of an ankle injury. So all in all, he missed 43 games last year. The pitch is fouled straight back. It remains 0-2 to Ketel Marte. And at one time, the Mariners were so high on Marte that they traded their starting shortstop, Brad Miller, to Tampa Bay. This goes to show you in this game, and I guess and in life, Jose, things don't always work out the way they're, well, supposed to.
Yeah, Miller went out and blossomed and really became a slugger at Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Playing different positions and not necessarily as a shortstop.
Marte, when he was in there last year for Seattle, hit .272 before the All-Star game, and then tailed off and hit only .236 after the Midsummer Classic. That ball is down. It's 2-2 to Marte.
It's always a popular, infamous second and third time around. As the league adjusts to you, how well will you adjust to the league?
Here's the 2-2. And that's skied in the right field. Eric Young Jr. is camping under that one, and he'll put it away for the second out of the inning. So 2 down here for the Diamondbacks as Jeremy Hazelbaker makes his way to the plate. Hazelbaker's first year here with the Diamondbacks last season was his first big league season. He appeared in 114 games for the St. Louis Cardinals, where he hit .235 with 12 home runs and 28 RBIs.
He was one of the early sensations around baseball. The unknown Jeremy Hazelbaker.
Fouls that off 0-1. Hazelbaker originally drafted by the Red Sox back in that 09 Major League Draft, where Strasburg went #1 and Dustin Ackley went #2. You're right. He was quite the deal at the beginning of last season.
Oh, he got a lot of national attention. I think well deserved. He was playing extremely well.
The 0-1's outside. It's 1-1 to Hazelbaker, who was drafted by the Red Sox, traded to the Dodgers in 2013. Dodgers released him in 2015, and just a few days after the Dodgers let him go, he was signed by the Cardinals.
Hit .317 in April. 5 home runs and 13 RBIs.
That pitch is a hard ground ball down the first base, and there he is with the leather again. C.J. Cron will put that away.
Making his brother and his pops quite proud here. I'm sure mom's around here too, so nice job, glove man. C.J. Cron.
C.J. have a day with the leather. No runs for the Diamondbacks in the top of the 8th. We've played 7.5 here at Tempe Diablo. 7-1 Angels on the Angel Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. Salvino Bracho is your new pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks as we move along to the bottom of the 8th inning. Angels lead at 7-1. Salvino Bracho. I gave it my best shot, Jose.
All the way from Venezuela, by the way.
Yeah, how about that?
With the Italian roots.
Ray Navarro going to lead off for the Angels here in the bottom of the 8th, playing second base for the Angels. And the first pitch to Navarro is outside. It's 1-0. Angels so far 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. The Diamondbacks 1 run, 5 hits, and 2 errors. One thing is for sure, Jose, the Angel bullpen has been absolutely lights out.
Yes, they have, and there's no doubt. You know, all the guys that you've been parading through have been unbelievable as strike throwers, and of course, it does help with the results that we saw yesterday.
Next pitch of Navarro's a strike, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Helps a lot too, Roger, when you end up having a bullpen day, like was the case last night with Bud Norris getting the start for a couple of innings.
2-1 to Navarro's popped up. Making a run at it and camping under it is Michael Perez, who will put that away for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 8th. The bottom of the 8th inning brought to you by Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana. Rotolo Chevrolet is pursuing excellence every single day. You can check them out online, rotolo.com. That's rotolo.com. Matt Williams, the Angels shortstop, will bat next. 260 in the minors last year. First pitch is away, and it's 1-0. 260 in his minor league career so far for Matt Williams. 21 home runs in his minor league career, 174 RBIs.
Just hoping that moment comes. The all-waited moment of getting the call to the show.
How about when you talk about shortstop for the Halos? We know who's going to start the season there, but if Andrelton Simmons wants a day off, which way do they go, Jose?
Cliff Pennington, who was healthy. And because of Pennington going down, even after Simmons went down last year, that opened the doors for Gregorio Petit, who blossomed for the Angels and came out of nowhere. You know, Petit was a guy in the position of a Williams or a Fontana. Guys like that before you know it, you 1, 2, 3 down the scale and you're in. Petit now with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Williams swings, he doesn't get, he foul tips, held on by Michael Perez, and he goes down swinging for route number 2. And I mentioned the Angel bullpen earlier. How about this fun fact, Jose? Last 11 innings for the Angel bullpen, no runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, 13 strikeouts. How about that?
They've been just absolutely dealing. Going back to last night, terrific performance by so many guys that came in and just took advantage of the opportunities. Got some great defense behind them, but you got to get a lot of good defense behind you. It doesn't matter which level. When you're around the zone, when you throw strikes, when you work fast, you have a good pace. Because that key number you mentioned there is the amount of walks.
Tony Sanchez will bat for the Halos here. Tony Sanchez, former 4th overall pick by the Pirates back in that 2009 Major League Draft that we keep bringing up. But how about this? After the 1-1 to Sanchez, that's swung on a miss. It's 1-2. 2009 Major League Draft. Number 1, Steven Strasburg went to the Nationals. Dustin Ackley went 2nd to Seattle. Donovan Tate went number 3 to the Padres. The 4th pick in that draft, the man at the plate right now, Tony Sanchez. And it's 2-2.
Saw Tony Sanchez play against the Angels over at the Big A. I think it was part of a controversy where he hit a ball to that high wall in right field. It hit the yellow line, bounced back, and he had to wait to see if it was going to be his big league home run or a double.
Well, no home run or double for Sanchez here as he strikes out swinging to end the Angel 8th. No runs, hits, or errors. We've played 8 at Tempe Diablo Stadium here in Tempe, Arizona. The Angels lead at 7-1, and you're listening to Angels Baseball Radio Network and Fox Sports West. We'll pitch the 9th inning for the Angels as they lead it here, 7-1. Big right-hander, number 54 in the back of that Angel red jersey, Diolis Guerra. Raymond Fuentes will lead it off for Arizona here in the top of the 9th. Angels 7 runs, 11 hits, no errors. Arizona 1 run, 5 hits, and 2 errors.
Well, Diolis Guerra trying to crack the Angels roster. He's now a non-roster player. Had a terrific ending to his World Baseball Classic run with Team Venezuela after a rough start.
And his first pitch here in the top of the 9th inning, right down the middle for a strike. It's 0-1 to Raymond Fuentes. Came on to play center field for the Diamondbacks here this afternoon. Here comes the 0-1. Just off the outside corner. It's 1-1.
And another performance by the Angels on the mound that Mike Scioscia is going to keep notice of. And how guys continue to get the competition even more intensity here towards the end. Everything you want to see. One concern, Roger, this late is when you have guys fighting for spots and all of a sudden they're all falling off. And then you start thinking, well, here comes a waiver wire. Got to start looking outside the organization. The candidates are not enough, but so far that has not been the case.
Look out. That next pitch is foul back. Wow, that was to the booth right next to us, Jose. That was came pretty close.
That was close to your brother.
My brother's in the next booth. He almost got nailed with that. He's on his phone texting. And speaking of brothers, Kevin Crone, C.J. Crone's brother, is in the on-deck circle. Look at my brother there, getting some TV time. Look, he's not even paying attention to the game. Can we go back to that shot? The guy's not even paying attention. And he almost got nailed by a foul ball as Fuentes waves at a breaking or an off-speed pitch, and he'll go down swinging.
I think you heard you.
Here comes
law enforcement. Let's go enforce him a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. My brother, the former Santa Ana policeman, texting during the game. He's going to get a good stern talking to. One down here, and Kevin Crone, speaking of brothers, CJ's brother, at the plate. Okay, Jose. It's the top of the 9th. The Angels lead at 7-1. CJ Crone is playing first base. His brother's in the batter's box, and you just know CJ is rooting for his brother to get a hit here.
Of course he wants his brother to do well. He knows his brother so well, he's way off the bag at first base. He's going, hey, if he has a ground ball to the left side or the right side, to my right, I know I can beat him to the bag.
This is the ultimate scouting report right now.
CJ is as far as he can get from the first base line.
Daring his brother to go the other way.
Hey, it might be a trick. Might say, hey, stay inside the ball here. Try to hit it this way.
0-2 to Crone. Just missed. 1-2. Speaking of CJ Crone, if you're just joining us here this late in the game, boy, he put on a show today with the glove. He had an outstanding defensive game today for this Angel Ball Club. The 1-2's away. It's 2-2.
You know, their father, Chris, played a lot of seasons against him in the minor leagues. Boy, he was an RBI machine. Always knew about hitting, passing it along to his kids. Well prepared, solid first baseman. Of course, they're all here around the valley. And as I mentioned, Chris Crone is a former Angel himself.
The pitch. That's lined into left field for a base hit.
Go tell your brother how good you are. Stop at first base and brag. Go.
How about that?
Let him know.
How about that?
Huh? See that?
Kevin Crone gives his brother a little shove over there at first base.
Get out of the way.
Get out of the way. I want this bag.
I'm hitting 1,000 this game.
That's awesome. Kevin Crone with a base hit. 1 on, 1 out for the Diamondbacks.
They had CJ asking Mike Scioscia, should I hold him on or not? That's great.
That is great. A base hit for Crone.
How about a hidden ball trick for your brother?
Oh, that would be the ultimate right now. So 1 on, 1 out. Negron's going to bat here. Christopher Negron.
Okay, so who's bigger? First base.
Man, that's a tough one. That's like going between the Big Show out of the World Wrestling WWE and maybe Shaquille O'Neal when they stood next to each other.
Two boys can hit the ball very hard.
There's a lot of power between those two down at first base. 1-1 to Negron. Deolis Guerra trying to keep things rolling for the Angel bullpen that have been absolutely tremendous here. The pitch is away. 2-1. We gave you the numbers. Last 11 innings coming into this inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 13 strikeouts for the Angel bullpen.
Guerra's trying to really force the issue and really develop a slider. Something going away from the right-handed batters. And at times it's been problematic with him. He's got an outstanding A-plus changeup. Have velocity in the 89 to 92, sometimes a little 93 here and there, but the changeup is his out pitch. But he's way more efficient against left-handed batters.
Here's the 3-1. Chopped up along third. That'll go foul. And the count will go full 3-2. So not only a great day for the Angel offense with 7 runs on 11 hits, a great day for the Angels on the mound as well, Jose. And I think manager Mike Scioscia, from wherever he's watching at this point, has to be thrilled in what he saw today.
He's not missing 1 pitch. We know how much pride Mike Scioscia takes in preparing his team.
That's fouled off.
And in the details. That's what makes him so good. You know, I've talked to so many players through the years that have left the Angels organization. And they'll come back and say, wow, I didn't realize really how into the details Mike Scioscia and the whole staff were. And he doesn't preach winning or losing. It's about preparation and going out there and trusting that your process is going to be able to show on the field with a W.
Pitch from Guerra. It's away from the catcher, Tony Sanchez. It'll be ball 4. And with 2 on and 1 out, Marty Harum will bat. Number 90 on the back of his Diamondbacks spring training uniform. We were digging deep for some info on Marty Harum when he took over at third base in this ball game today. You got to love the spring training baseball.
Well, nowadays, you're connected to the Wi-Fi, you're going to find everything you need quickly.
Thank goodness for the Wi-Fi on a day like today, Jose. No doubt about it.
Good season for Marty. Hit close to 300 in single A.
First pitch to him upstairs, 1-0. Marty Harum, H-A-R-U-M, is batting for your Arizona Diamondbacks. Kelly Dugan is in the on-deck circle for Arizona. Swing and a miss. From Harum, it's 1-1. So you think Mike Scioscia's down in the Angel clubhouse right now listening and watching our broadcast, Jose?
He may not be listening, but I know he's watching.
He's watching, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Here comes the pitch. That's hit the center. Going back on it is Revere, and he's going to watch it leave the yard. How about that? About 10 minutes ago, we were wondering just who was Marty Harum. Well, Marty Harum just went yard with a 3-run home run to make it a 7-4 Angel lead. How about that?
Marty Harum says, here I am. That was a nice, quick, efficient swing of Deolis Guerra. Again, trouble against right-handers. Shows up here against an unknown fastball right up around the waist. And you don't have to do a whole lot to generate the power going to center field. But boy, wind or no wind, that ball was struck and it was going to travel regardless.
Guerra's next pitch, and he will hit Kelly Dugan. Kind of glances out to the mound on his way down the first base.
You know very well there's no intent in a spring training game. You're trying to push somebody off the home plate, of course you're going to pitch inside, but no intent in trying to hit somebody. But with Guerra, it is important that he owns the other side of the home plate. And the only way to do that is to establish that you also will push somebody off the plate, especially from the left side, to make that changeup more efficient.
Charles Nagy has made his way out to the mound. He'll have a little discussion with the Olascara. What could he be telling him right about now, Jose?
It's more about settling down. You know, that home run is over. Let's not try to overthrow here. Let's just keep working on the things you need to work. Get ahead and let it work out for you to implement the other pitches.
So Michael Perez, the Diamondback catcher, will hit here with 1 out, runner at first in the top of the 9th. Angels trying to hold on to this 7-4 spring training lead. Quite a difference on this Saturday afternoon as opposed to what we saw last night when the Seattle Mariners unable to get a hit against Angel pitching. A spring training no-hitter. 8 different halos contributed, in case you missed that.
Fans on their feet, night game, many
on their
things
feet in a
were
spring
going.
training game. It was fantastic. Post-game concert afterwards. Perez fouls it back 1-2.
And the reaction from the dugout, there's no hiding when you're competing that you're into every single pitch. You see the 0 up on the board.
I had the honor of introducing Gavin DeGraw, who played the post-game concert last night. So I watched the 9th from the Angel bullpen. Those guys were, as that pitch is lined down the right field line, foul. 1-2 to Michael Perez. Those guys in the bullpen, I thought I was watching a playoff game, Jose. They were into it.
No doubt. Every pitch, every play, and there were 3 outstanding plays to save that no-hitter.
3 outstanding plays in the 9th. Here comes the 1-2. How about that off-speed pitch, Jose? And he strikes out Michael Perez, froze him at the plate. Outstanding pitch there by De Olascara.
Good bounce back there by the Olis. And he was able to at least spin the ball much better. Curveball to surprise the young catcher, who perhaps was basing everything on fastball changeup of De Olascara.
So with 2 outs here, Stuart Imes is going to hit for the Diamondbacks. Trying to keep it going. Kelly Dugan will just make his way down to second base on the old indifference. So a runner at second with 2 down. 0-1 to Stuart Imes. Outside corner. 0-2. Ketel Marte would be next if Imes can reach. Guerra checks the 0-2. High and away, 1-2. But these Diamondback fans, Jose, still cheering their team on here with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning and their team down 7-4. You got to love it.
Spring training, it's a little wild. You just never know. We've seen some comebacks time and time again.
The pitch. Grounded hard down the first base line. Foul. 1-2, excuse me.
They get to know some of their youngsters. Get to, of course, get to know the team a little bit better. Give that support. Pleasant afternoon. And these youngsters always bring a lot of energy later into ball games. Feed off of it.
Here comes the 1-2. That's grounded to first base. And how fitting is that? Crone up with it. Tosses to Guerra. And that will do it.
Well done, my friend.
Thank you so much, Jose Mota. How about that? The Angels win it by a final score of 7-4. 7 runs, 11 hits for the Halos. 4 runs, 7 hits for Arizona as the Angels get to 16-12. Here during Cactus League play, the Arizona Diamondbacks, they're 13-12-2 here in Cactus League play. A good day for the Angels all the way around. The offense was good with the 7 runs and 11 hits, and the pitching was absolutely outstanding. That Angel bullpen was great again today. Great contributions by many different relievers. We'll get to that coming up here in just a couple of minutes. We're about to throw it down to Alex Curry down on the field, who is, we're hoping she can get Dino Ebel, the Angel manager, the acting manager after Mike Scioscia was tossed today. Or maybe she's going to run down Ron Renicky down there along the first base line. So let's get down to Alex Curry, who's standing by with Angel third base coach Ron Renicky. Alex?
Thank you, Roger. Ron, all around great game for this team on the mound, at the plate. But let's start with Tyler Skaggs. This is the deepest he's gone into a game this spring. What did you guys see from him in 4+ innings?
Skaggs is a winner.
Well, good outing, like you said. And I think an outing that he needed to pitch well. He's trying to get himself ready to try to make that spot in our rotation. And I think he needed a deep outing to be able to give himself a chance to be that guy.
Now, I talked to him earlier. He said he is ready for season. He feels good. Someone else who's looking good is C.J. Cron, who is having an incredible spring, not only swinging a hot bat, but really showing his defensive skills at first base. We saw it last night in the 9th inning and again today.
Yeah, he's played great all spring. So the defensive part, people don't realize, but it picks up the pitcher. It picks up your infielders when they make a bad throw. And the improvement he's made from last year, what I saw from this year is tremendous. So he got hot offensively early, was swinging the bat well, hitting with power, driving it in the gaps. He's not chasing pitches like he can at times. So he's doing everything right now.
Now, we've seen a couple of firsts for this team in the last 24 hours. We saw the no-hitter last night. Mike Scioscia getting tossed from his first spring training game. Can you give us an idea of what happened?
Even though it's a spring training game, you still pull for your guys. And when a guy's doing something on the mound and he's maybe not getting pitches, you're concerned. You want everything to be called right for him. Sometimes you say things, and I know at that time Mike didn't say anything. The umpire thought he said something, popped off. Mike didn't like it, obviously, and went out. And I thought it was over. He started to walk away, and then something was said. And it just sometimes we need to keep under control, maybe keep our mouth shut a little bit. But sometimes the umpires can start that too. So you hate to do it in spring training, but I've been tossed out too, so I guess I can't say much.
It's fun to see the excitement and the energy for you guys. Great game today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, thank you.
Roger, back up to you.
All right, Alex, thank you so much. The Angels winning on a day where Mike Scioscia was ejected from a spring training game. Your totals one more time. The Angels win at 7 runs, 11 hits. They made no errors. The Arizona Diamondbacks on this Saturday afternoon, 4 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors. Your attendance today, 9,590. The game, 2 hours and 50 minutes. Tyler Skaggs picks up the win for the Halos as the Angels now 16-12 in Cactus League play. Thank you so much, Alex. And for those of you watching on television, Jose Mota will be joined by Alex Curry, and they'll have a lot more post-game analysis coming up on Angels Live. And on the radio, we'll have a lot more for you here on Angels Radio AM 830. This is Angels Baseball, the radio network, and Fox Sports West. It's driven